Hello Internet, God is love, and I'm bringing you interesting news and science from the future. Aren't you so excited? It's the future. I'm just all this information and important stuff. I went there, I've come back, and now it's time to give you guys... Oh, hold on, sorry, I have to take this. I'm sorry, okay. Hello, this is Nigel speaking. Oh. Oh, that's a little disappointing. Yeah, I understand. Okay. Sorry about that. That was God. He was telling me I can't give you science from the future. It's so disappointing. But, he's the big boss man. So I guess I just have to give you science from today and now and the new interesting discoveries we've made. I guess let's do this. A new study was published in the American Journal of Medicine from the University of Nevada, Reno's School of Public Health concerning some very interesting gun statistics. They compared the United States to 22 other high-income countries and found that non-lethal crime rates were basically the same, but the United States had much higher lethal crime rates driven by gun violence. They also found that suicide rates across all the countries were basically the same, except gun suicide rates in the United States were 8 times higher. They also found that homicide is the second leading cause of death in individuals aged 15 to 24, and the third leading cause of death in individuals aged 25 to 34. They also found that if you're an American living in the United States aged between 15 and 24, you are 49 times more likely to die from a gunshot than if you lived in one of the other countries. They looked at suicide rates in the United States across cities, counties, and states, and they found that the best explanation for those suicide rates were not mental health, suicide ideation, or the number of suicide attempts, but rather gun availability. A lot of this isn't too surprising given how guns are so prevalent in the United States, and it's important for us, before we make any decisions concerning important health issues, that we have all the facts in, and this study is just one data point in trying to determine an informed decision. So, you know how we're pumping literally millions of tons of CO2 into the atmosphere every year? And you know how CO2 is a greenhouse gas and is contributing massively to global warming? But you also know how, fuel and gasoline and oil and other carbon-based resources are just super important to our current technology? Wouldn't it be great instead of letting all that CO2 just hang around in the atmosphere doing bad stuff, if we could somehow use it again? Well, now we can! A study in the Journal of the American Chemical Society from a team from the University of Southern California showed a method for direct CO2 to methanol conversion. Methanol is a very useful resource because it can be used in fuel cells, it can be a gasoline alternative, and it can be converted into other organic-based compounds such as fertilizer or plastics. The process requires heating up carbon dioxide and hydrogen gas to extremely high temperatures and then using a catalyst to then create the methanol. Previous attempts were unsuccessful because most catalysts broke down at the heat required. It's about 300 degrees Fahrenheit. But the team used a special metal called ruthenium, and that, as a catalyst, worked very successfully and didn't break down at the extremely high temperatures. This all sounds really exciting, but we have to temper our excitement just a little bit because the second law of thermodynamics states that in an isolated system, entropy must increase. What that means is we can't just continually extract carbon dioxide out of the air and then expect to get back the same amount of energy that we used in extracting the carbon dioxide from the air. So while useful, we still need lots of alternative energy resources. So solar power, we're still coming, or possibly other futuristic energy sources, like fusion! So in the UK, scientists have finally received permission to conduct genetic modification experiments on human embryos. The scientists at the Francis Crick Institute in London are interested in understanding the processes and development of human embryos in the very early stages of development. They're using a process known as CRISPR-9, and then after 7 days, they will kill the embryos. They didn't say kill, of course, they said another word like terminate or destroy. But those words don't mean murder, while killing does mean murder. And they don't want to give away the fact that they are murdering embryos, which are people, aka they're babies, because they're embryos, because they haven't been born yet. They're still people! The team is hoping that their research will help create better in vitro fertilization methods to help women get pregnant. They're also hoping that because they have been allowed to conduct these genetic modification research, that future modification research on human genomes while in development stages can be developed. So that way in the future, we can create new methods for eliminating genetic disease while babies are still developing in the mother's womb. I'm all for human augmentation, like correcting genetic disease, that's fine. I'm against murdering babies. They're murdering babies. They should find another way to conduct their research where they're not murdering babies. So the Zika virus is currently ravaging South America right now and is also quite prevalent in Africa, and the World Health Organization has called it a global health emergency. The Zika virus isn't all that deadly to people. If a woman who's pregnant gets infected with the Zika virus, their baby will be born with a condition where their head is only about 80% normal size, so they have a smaller brain and a smaller head. This is growing to be such a problem in South America that some South American countries are telling their women not to get pregnant for a while. El Salvador, for example, have warned their citizens to not get pregnant until 2018. There's currently no way of curing it, and there's no way of preventing it. It's spread primarily by mosquitoes, so other than just anti-mosquito protection, there's really no way to protect yourself against it. Right now, we just have to pray for the scientists and doctors working for ways to try to combat this disease, and pray for women who might get pregnant while having the Zika virus. And pray for their babies. Mosquitoes need to just die. Like, they're bad. Scientists say they're bad. They don't do anything. Let's just get rid of mosquitoes. So that's some news in science. I hope all of you have learned something interesting. And as always, Aje Quadrages.